We're going to do two things today. First, I want you to um, be familiar with the process, how we count your attendance, means participation credit, okay? So the first things I need you to do is either in front of the computer in front of you or the your own laptop, either MacBook or Ubuntu. So I want you to install yet another software. Let me just show you that this. How do I actually make it a little bit bigger? Yeah, okay. So I want you to, if you're using Ubuntu, you type in this particular line. I highlighted here. Let me go down to show you what you should do if you're a Mac user. If you're a Mac user, you do this. For MacBook, you do brew install libjson RPC CPP. If you haven't installed brew on your Mac, then you need to install brew first. By the way, for those of you who have a Google, how do I search the GitHub link? You just search for RPC CPP, JSON RPC CPP, JSON RPC CPP. Type in, this stands for JSON RPC CPP. And then if you type that, the first link is the link I show you. Okay. And so you can, now I want to go back to the link I showed you a bit earlier, which is this one, the cinema link, which is for MacBook user, you type brew install libjson-rpc-cpp. For Ubuntu user, is a sudo apt-get install libjson-rpc-cpp-dev and space libjson-rpc-cpp-tools. You need to type in this line. Okay, so we're going to do a few system administration at the beginning so I can show you the process. Okay, any question or anybody who didn't get what I said or haven't got a chance to? I mean, of course, you need to have a Ubuntu or Mac environment first. Yes, please. Okay, if you do, the GitHub link looks like this. That's the link. But if you do, if you do a Google search on JSON RPC CPP, the first link should be the GitHub link. Okay, you search for JSON RPC CPP. RPC stands for remote procedure call. Because what I want to do is I want your computer to directly communicate to my computer so I can take your attendance that way, okay? We're going to move into, when we talk about RPC, remote procedure call, we're talking about, you can write a C++ program. It can run across multiple computers. It's just not just one single computer using, there are different ways to do this. But what we call web programming or network programming is actually the most commonly used is RPC, remote procedure call. Google has their own protocol called gRPC, and the rest of the world is using JSON-RPC. Okay. And you will learn that RPC and JSON, they're really, really popular technology that the industry is using those heavily. Okay. Okay, any other question? Let me switch back to this. This is the line for Ubuntu, sudo apt-get install. Anybody have any question? And maybe my TA, you can walk around to help other students to get to this. Okay, All right. All right. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand, okay? And then I will send one of the TA to help you. All right. So I want to show you the other program that you need to download. Okay, the other program which you need to download, go to the GitHub. And if you, let me see, I hope this is my mistake. I should have sent this out. If there is a way I can send it out. So this is the GitHub link you need to get to. github.com/sfelixwu/EE1520_participation. Okay, this is the link that you need to get to, and you will get to my repository sfelixwu EE1520_participation. And there is a bunch of programs which you actually might be already familiar with some of them. Again, you want to download this file, download the whole zip, okay? View all file. You see that there is, again, remember that what we did was a GitHub. You click, wait a minute, where's, go to file, I think it's code. Yeah, code. Over here, you download the zip, and then you need to download this one. So in order, the reason I need you to install JSONRPC CPP is because you need JSONRPC CPP to compile this directory, which is the EE1520_participation, okay? By the way, is there a way I can send this on Moodle? Is Moodle has a way, or maybe Discord, I can actually post it. I need to figure out a better way to do this. Okay. All right. So there are two things, both related to system administration. The first one is installation of JSON-RPC CPP. And then the second program is being included under GitHub as sfelixwu/EE1520_participation. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to run this program and show you what it does. Okay. I want to move this up a little bit and get to my window. Okay, this is my window. Maybe make it smaller so I won't be overlapped with some of this stuff. Okay, make it a little bit smaller. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, the first thing I should tell you, there is a program called NGRock. So I want to tell you a little bit because this program is kind of very useful. I mean, similar service, you have multiple one, but this NGRock, you actually don't need to learn about NGRock, but I want to kind of take the opportunity to kind of give you some basic about network programming or web programming. So essentially, in order for me to run a web server, I have to have a static IP address. I have to have an IP address, static, not only it's an IP address. So when I say static IP address means that most of us, when you're connected to the internet, including your smartphone, you have a what we call dynamic IP address or dynamically assigned IP address. So it means that that IP address is kind of can be assigned to another machine anytime. So that's what most of us is using dynamic IP address. But in order for you to have a stable service, that you have to have a static IP address. Obviously, that's kind of not very convenient, right? For example, I want to be able to interact with your computer. I want to run a server on my current computer, which is using dynamic IP address. So what I do is I actually using a service called NGRock. So when you're connecting to my computer, as if it's actually connecting to an NGRock server. And ngrok server will redirect whatever you contact with ngrok, and then you contact with me. So what I set up is, you can see I run the ngrok command. I said, if you use this domain, which is domain I've been using for a while, that's my research project. If it's running ethicus.ngrok.io, which is a domain name that owned by ngrok, then it will redirect to my local address with that port number 8384. You see that? This is HTTP localhost with port number 8384. So I want to tell you this, is I did the translation. This is a contract between me and ngrok, such that whenever you contact ngrok with that domain name, ethicus.ngrok.io, it will redirect to me, and my local host will treat it as to my machine with a port number 8384. Just so you know, the default web address, the port number is 8000. 8000 or 8080. There are a bunch of standard port number, but obviously I'm using 8384, so this will be a customized port number. Specifically, I designed for use. By the way, I can use any number I want as a port number, so I make sure it will not conflict with my other web-related activity. That's why I set it up, so I'm going to run it. So when I run it, you see that I'm actually creating a tunnel. That's actually, if you actually connect to the ethicus ngrok.io, you will redirect to me. Okay, so I actually have from the network perspective, I'm using ngrok such that now your computer. Okay. Sorry, I got a phone. I have to turn it off. Okay. So that's first part. Just for information. So now I turn on my ngrok, so you can now connect with me. So now I'm going to run the service. So the way I do it is, I just want to show you this, and so you can see. I will do make clean. If you download this from EE1520 participation, and then you type in make, it will just compile. And remember the first line, this is something you probably are not familiar with, is JSONRPC step that will need to be installed through the JSONRPC CPP program. Okay, so once that, I have a client server. Okay, now I'm going to run it. The way from my side, I'm going to run as a server. So I actually turn on my server side. And then from the client side, I'm actually going to run. So I want to first show you what the client program looks like. So this program in that directory called EE1520 client.cpp. I haven't taught you pretty much most of the stuff in this program, so don't feel discouraged. If you look at this, you don't know why it is. I just want to show you one or two lines, so you will see what's going on here. Okay, gradually we'll learn everything. Of course, we have this include file, don't worry, but you can see that this line is include JSONRPC CPP. You need to use that remote procedure call facility, okay? And the program is the main program, and I need to set up an HTTP client. So if you can imagine this is as if I'm actually using a web browser. I'm actually using your Internet Explorer, or Safari or Firefox. I'm using the browser, but I'm using the browser within a C++ program. So now if you have been thinking about, oh, I have been using web all the time to do Google, to do Facebook, to do whatever. Now I'm actually enabling you, when you learn about this stuff, you're actually going to do that within your own program. That's called web programming. You can create your own style of interaction with a web server. Okay, it's the same style. So I need to set up a web client. And the web client, the interface, by the way, remember I said, this is what? This is the class name. HTTP client is the class. Last time we talked about class. I will continue on that, but I want to first show you how this thing is working. So I create a client, and the variable name is called HTTP client. And within that is this is the style of what we call constructor. The constructor take one argument, and that argument is the URL. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with this style. URL stands for Universal Resource Locator. That's how you use this specification to reach every single resource is connected to the internet. Okay, if you can make this really long, so you can access to, I mean, by the way, Google, if you use Google, essentially when you do a search engine, every single entry they provide you is a URL. Okay, so that's allow you to do that. But remember, because my ngrok configuration that I said, you need to contact my server, which is the servers over here. And in order for you to connect my server, my ngrok server setup is using this URL, ethicus.ngrok.io, and then it will point out to localhost port 8384. Okay, so I will show you what is 8384 a bit later, but I wanted to say, hey, from the client perspective, I don't care. I just want to access to ethicus.io. By the way, have you noticed that I actually have one extra line that has been commented out? And this line says that if you want to run the program to yourself, meaning that you want to run at home when I actually turn off my ngrok server, that means you cannot connect to my computer after I left the session. If you want to do that, you can actually use what we call 127.0.0.1, which is equivalent to localhost. So by the way, 127.0.0.1 is an IP address. It's an IPv4 IP address that's designated for localhost. If you want to contact yourself, you use 127.0.0.1. And then again, it's a port number, 8384. So essentially 127.0.0.1 colon 8384, that's equivalent to localhost 8384. They are equivalent. Okay, just two different ways to do it. But right now we're using ethicus ngrok.io because I want you to connect with my server. And then, but later, if you want to test, you want to run some kind of local web server, you want to do whatever fun project you want to do, you can actually do it differently using this, okay? All right, this is one thing I want to tell you. So I set up a web client that's actually connect to the ethicus ngrok.io. Okay, and then the rest of the program should be very simple. So I create a EE1520 client using the HTTP client and using the protocol called JSONRPC client underscore v2. I mean, if you look at this particular line I just read, you might be confusing because a lot of things you don't know. Don't worry. This is the beauty about programming. Sometimes you just need to use it. You don't need to modify. By the way, this is always pretty standard. Once you have done once or twice the web program, you realize that this two line I just introduced to you, they're pretty formatted. You just use them without knowing a great detail about the internal, you will be able to get your web programming running. Okay, so by the way, programming, this is another thing, that's why I said, programming, there is a lot of stuff you can learn, but all it matters is that you can get the program running. And to get that program running, sometimes you just need to learn the basic thing, just copy two lines from the other program and you're done. Okay. All right, then that's the program. And then the rest of that is very simple. You see, the program is so short. Okay, you haven't learned this, what we call try-catch clause. We will spend a lot of time over that. That's essentially the C++ style of exceptional handling. We're not going to worry about that. I'm not going to teach you. But the most important thing you see that is I have a variable called my client. I just created at this line. It has the type EE1520 client. And what I did is, you see that this is the object. This is an object. My client is an object. It's a type. The class is EE1520 client. And I just say, well, there is a one member function. One member function, just like last time we talked about distance is a member function. And now we have a new member function called participate. And I just basically call this function participate. And I put in 3 arguments. The first argument is participate. The second argument is something which you can decide, whatever you want to do. And then this portion is student ID number. So, okay, so before I show you this demo, what I want you to do is take this program, modify this particular line. You don't need to modify anything else, except you want to type in your own student ID number. You want to type in your own student ID number, and then I will put in something. By the way, I already on my server, not on the one you download, I already built in for every single student and instructor. I already have your student ID number, name, and your all the information I can get from NCKU. But I'm not going to show you what that is. But the other thing is, I also assign you what I call a virtual name, because whatever I'm going to show you here is going to show on the YouTube. Therefore, I don't want any of your ID, your name, to be recorded in YouTube. So I have already assigned each one of you what I call a virtual name. And that virtual name everyone was from one of the character from the novel or the movie series, The Lord of the Ring. Have you watched that movie, The Lord of the Ring? Frodo, Gollum, Gandalf? Yeah. So some of you will be Frodo, some of you will be Gollum or something like that. Okay. So if you actually type in your student ID, let me actually show you what the program looks like. Okay. Hey, I feel that's a great movie. You should watch that movie. That movie is one of my favorite. Okay, The Lord of the Ring. I watch pretty much all of them multiple times. Okay, so I'm running the server, and I want to tell you that I'm going to run the client. Okay, you see that? When I run the client, it get back to me. Okay, you see that this is fine because that's the fake ID. I won't run for anybody else, but whatever you got, you should return. If everything register correctly, it will say, hey, this is your student ID. This is your name. Okay, by the way, this is what we call universal encoding of your name. I actually don't know what to say, but you can see that that's my name. If you type in \U5433, if I Control X, Control C, if you go to a website, I cannot show this one. I hope you don't see it. I hope Google don't record that part. That's accident. If there is a website for encoding, so Unicode encoding character search. If I type in that character, and that's the character for Wu, that's my last name, okay? So you can use that, but I'm actually only recording my server with the Unicode encoding. And it says my V name is Balin, okay? So I actually assign every student. So if you run this program, if it's unsuccessful, let me actually give you an example what is unsuccessful. If I gave a incorrect student ID, I make a 9. And I'm going to run this program again. Wait a minute. Oh, I have to make. Okay, you see that there is an error code. Because why? Because the student ID cannot be found in the system. So we'll be using this. So in the future, when we decide to take a participation, you just need to run that program, and I will give you some kind of code you can modify, compile, and then send it in. Okay, so the reason I said there was a something, that was because, well, if you don't come to the class, you can stay at home. If you know the protocol, you will just type it in, and then you can still participate regardless where you are. So I will only give the code inside the class. Okay, this code inside the class. And the thing is that I can do that. By the way, I realized another functionality because to prevent you guys to give that secret to another friend in the dormitory, they can remotely maybe send it in from Japan or from Hong Kong. I actually will check the IP address. I will show you where is your source IP address. So source IP address should be somewhat reasonably close to NCKU. It's either one of your computer or your computer is connecting to one of the local electrical engineering IP address. I have a way to do that. By Thursday, I will upload that version, which I can. By the way, is very easy. You can know when you run the server, you actually know where that IP address is coming from. Okay, that is all available to us. Okay. Okay. Any question? I want to actually see. So how do I do that? Oh, I already saw some of the people already coming. Oh, there's already one exception. Oh, that's because of that. Okay. So let me see if I already have some student already log in. So I have a server. It seems to me everything is still me. This is all me. It's all Berlin. You see that I actually remove, so you won't see your student ID number. Berlin. Anybody successfully sent in? It seems to me none of you have successfully sent in. I mean, it's probably okay. Today you cannot get it to work because today I'm going to give you a free pass that everybody will be count as participated. But I really want to spend some time so you can get a program. Okay, let me first ask you this. Anybody have any have everybody or anybody install JSONRPC CPP already? Who haven't, please raise your hand. Okay. TA, please help those raise their hand. Thank you. I appreciate that to help them to install JSONRPC CPP. Yeah, there's a reacher whenever you're done to help those. Okay, for those of you who already installed, we can move to the next step. Have you installed the new whatever the EE1520 participation from the GitHub? Can you successfully compile that program? Anybody compile? You have some problem compiling? Okay, all right. So let me walk to you. No problem. So I'm trying to help you. Okay, that's fine. Can you edit the make file? Make file. No, the MAKEFILE. No. Do you have an editor? Okay. So if you remember, let's go back to. Oh, okay. Let me show you this. I know what's the problem. the arrow that the student just showed me is exactly this arrow. Remember, this is under EE1520. I have a make file. And I said in the make file, let me click it. Over here, I actually say, not this make file, sorry. It's a different make file. There is multiple make file. Let me see, make file JSON. Yeah, make file JSON. So inside the make file JSON, remember I have this link. You should put, for those of you, you should actually include, modify your make file, make sure you have -G, -I. Let me actually check the make file here. What did I say? I didn't put that -I file. So let me actually tell you what you need to do. Let me actually upload this file and then you can download it again. Let me do this. Hold on, let me do the following. Okay, the make file I'll be using is -G is -USR/local. Let me actually check. Where's my, it should be user include JSON CPP. Okay. User include JSON CPP. So if I do this, then that error should be go away. Okay, so now I'm going to upload the new make file. Let me upload the new make file and I will be doing this participation. Wow, this is kind of here. I want to go here to upload no, not this one. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, how do I get to, upload file. Okay, so I'm going to upload the make file again, so you can download the make file. So this one, I put it under, this is the new make file. It's here. Okay, so I will commit. Okay, so you have to re-download maybe the whole zip or just re-download the make file. And from this directory, I just upload. Okay, this one you see that the new make file now has, or you just directly modify your make file to add this part. Then it should get rid of the error message that some of you observed. Okay, I want to ask a question. Anybody have successfully compiled EE1520 client server? Anybody? Oh, wow. Well, that's fine. Let's try to, let me go to config. Let me see the server log. Yeah, I upload, about 1 minute ago. They should re-download the whole zip or just re-download the make file, just that make file. because the make file has that minus capital I, that's actually for some of the solution. Okay, there was a few things. Hey, there was their hand. Can you go? Okay, if it's 17 is not a problem, make it 14. That's okay. Sumless system, you can use 14. G++ 14 or G plus 11, 11, 14, 17, one of them, as long as it can work, that's fine. Because sometimes I realize Mac, I can use, 1 second. What's your question? Okay. No, change the make file to 14. You know what? Maybe I do this. I let me change that to 14 on my make file and upload. What's your question? LS? So you don't have that. You don't have that make file. You have to, okay. So you first need to download the zip file from GitHub and then uncompress because it's not in that directory. Okay, but you need, okay, where that is, you have to change to that directory. So this is, you have to use this window to go to that directory. So that's why you go to the window, ls. So where you are, can you help this student to go to the, he has a zip file, but he doesn't know how to get to that zip file using the CD. Okay, so I do want to say there was a few commonly problem we need to address. I'm glad that we're doing this exercise. Number one, you have to go to GitHub and download the zip file, but you need to know where that zip file is, and using your terminal to change directory, which means the CD command to go to that directory. That's one thing you have to learn. And then the make file, let me actually change it again. Let me do this. So if you look at this, what I did, I'm going to change this to 14. I think 14 is a good version, or even 11, because 17 for some of the Mac that they, some of the Ubuntu, they cannot handle 17 correctly. So I'm going to change this to 14. And then I'm going to upload again. I'm going to upload this to this directory. And I'm going to upload file. And I'm going to put the new make file there. Okay, let me check if my make file is uploaded correctly. Okay, so now you can see I changed to C++ 14. Okay, that means I changed the version. You can re-download the make file. So now I want to show you something which I realize some of you probably already successfully registered. Let me check. Okay. Ooh. Okay, there is a student, whoever is Brett that has registered successfully. So apparently there was a few students registered successfully. which is good. I actually need to fix that. So some of the, okay. So for those of you who actually receive a response, that means a few things you already know your name, your virtual name, and you already know your that you have been able to run the participation program. I mean, I know this is kind of challenging for most of us because we kind of using a lot of concept which we will need to introduce to you later in the semester. But I want you to start running this program so you can participate the registration at least. Okay, that's probably the easiest way for us to capture your participation. So right now, I hope, okay, a few things I want to, let me write it down, what I expect you to get this particular class, and maybe if we cannot done it, you stay and then we'll work on that to make sure you're okay. Let me pull it out. It's my PowerPoint. Again, my PowerPoint is this. Open. Okay, I want to tell you that what we have captured today. The first thing is installation of JSONRPC CPP. The second one is installation of EE1520 participation from GitHub. And you download as a zip file. And you need to know how to uncompress it. And you need to know where it is by using the command cd. So once you've done this, you have to type make. Okay, sorry, you have to modify EE1520 client.cpp to include your own student ID. And then you have to type the command make. And then finally, you will run the program /E1520 client. Then it will successfully include your program. By the way, here you have to include both the student ID and the passcode, the passphrase or whatever, which I will give you next time. Okay, this is what we try to have all of us done today. I know you're in the middle of this. So installation of JSON-RPC CPP, and you try to download the EE1520 participation from GitHub. You have to do this part, and then you have to modify within this program, you have to modify EE1520 client.cpp, which is, let me actually get rid of that. What exactly you need to modify is, wait a minute. I want to go back. I want to cd dot dot. I want to go back here. Forget it. E1520 client.cpp. Okay, the exactly place you need to modify is this line. When you call the my client.participate, I want you to modify this part to replace, this is a fake student ID you want you to replace with your own student ID. And if you have been in the class, in my database, I already record everybody's student ID. I already assign a character name to each of the student ID. I will show you what that virtual name be used later, okay? But that, at least for now, this is the protocol for you to obtain your participation credit. So in other words, every time you come to the class, starting Thursday, you have to run this program, modify your student ID, and then you should submit, then I will be able to know that you are actually here, okay? And then one more thing before we go, and then just modify, and then you type make, which is recompile the program. If you don't know how to use make, I forgot which lecture before that I actually talked about make, how to do it. And then after you make, if successfully, you just execute the program EE1520 client. Okay, just for those of you who don't, what is a make? It seems to me some of you are obviously confused. I believe one of my lecture, so I forgot which lecture. There was a lot of lecture I tried to cover. I believe this lecture 10, I talk about JSON. I believe lecture 9, I talk about, or lecture 8, I talk about the instruction about Unix, including the makefile. Okay, so if you kind of confused about what to do, I mean, myself and the TA are here to help you, but also you are welcome to take a look or review the lecture I gave earlier, which is cover those topics, okay? All right, any question? We have about 1 minute. Yes, please. Okay, let me see what you have. Okay, that's because it's using 17. Can you modify? This is a very small problem. No problem. I actually already modified. Do you have an editor to modify your makefile? Yes, and a capital M. Okay, yeah. Go in there. Change this to 14. No. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah. 14, and then Control X, Control S. Control S. I make it again. No, you add X. No, can you go back to can you hold my microphone? Okay, hold my microphone for you. Yeah, so I can record it. So I will do this. See. Okay, so just this is the Emacs. Don't worry. Wait a minute. Now it becomes warning. Now it can work. Okay. Warning is okay. If you see warning, don't worry about that. Error is a problem. Yeah. Okay. This is because okay. Let me enable my microphone. So first, I will change it. I will change it. Second. Let me take a look. No, you're fine. Yeah, that means you're successful. Rima is your name. No. When you ask you, this is not executable. The executable is just like this. You see, you got it. Your name is Paul. Okay, you're done. Yes, that means you're good. Yeah, if you got assigned to okay, I better turn off my recording.